You asked for it. Here it is. It's a podcast from Apathetic Enthusiasm.
Hey, everybody. This week we're talking about parasites and viruses and just stay at home still. Just stay.
Just stay out. Just stay at home.
Welcome, everybody, to Apathetic Enthusiasm. I am Travis.
And I am Brandon. And welcome to the show. Welcome to Hatathetic Enthusiasm.
Oh, I should have worn a hat. I didn't get the hat memo.
No. Well, some of us haven't combed their hair in a week. Some of us
haven't combed their hair in a decade, Brandon. It's been over 10 years since I combed my hair.
It's been 1 week since you cut my hair. Something.
Yeah, I cut my son's hair. That's a quarantine topic we can talk about. Welcome, everybody, to Apathetic Enthusiasm. We're so glad that you're here joining us for another episode that we will continue to produce on a regular basis until Rick and Morty starts the first week of May. And then, we'll figure it out. But it's only 5 episodes. You don't got to worry too much about it. But yeah, if you're new to the show, if you're just checking us out for the first time, there are lots of ways that you can follow our hijinks. You can head over to Twitter at Apathusiast. I'm at Jugglemino. He's at Barnyard Cruise. Over at Facebook, facebook.com/apathetic enthusiasm show. Our email is apatheticenthusiasmshow@gmail.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, apathetic_enthusiasm, where you can see some puppet pics. Yeah, get ready for some puppet pics. We'll talk about this a little bit later. And then finally, our website is apatheticenthusiasm.com, where you can find other things. Hello to those of you watching us live right now over on twitch.tv/apathetic enthusiasm, or those that are watching later. Some of you could watch live as well. Some watch live on youtube.com/apathetic enthusiasm. And then
the options are abound for you.
There are so many ways. And then finally, you can support our financial goals at apatheticenthusiasm.com/shop. That will take you to our TeePublic page, where you can get a t-shirt with our cartoon faces on it, or lots of other Rick and Morty tees if you're into that sort of thing. And then finally, patreon.com/Rick and Morty pod, where you can support us directly, with monies and things. Monies. And thus ends the formal portion of our show. Brandon, how the heck are you?
I'm doing great, man. Yeah, let's just rag for about 30 minutes.
Brandon's wearing his dad hat. He's a big Dolphins fan in the house.
Yeah, I've gone the way of so many others, and I've become a sports fan in this quarantine time.
In this time of no sports, you've really leaned into the cornhole matches on ESPN8, the Ocho.
You've got to, when they're out there and they're playing Madden 20 on ESPN because they have nothing else to report on. Hey, this my time to shine. Where them League of Legends at?
Yeah, it's a big time for competitive gaming, because while they were trying to bring tons of people together and put them in stadiums and stuff like that, now it's just like, yeah, stay home, play from home. I'm sure it's fine, don't worry about it. You just talk to your team, we'll find a way to stream it. We've been doing it for years. Keep watching. But I've seen a lot of videos this week in particular of bored sportscasters who are doing play-by-play commentary on just anything around them. I saw a great video of a guy in, I think, the UK who was doing play-by-play of his 2 dogs, and one had a bone, and he was holding it, but the other one was trying to get it, and he was being very sneaky about it. It's a great video. Make sure it's on the internet. You can't miss it. But yeah. What else you been up to? You have a good weekend?
Yeah, I had a pretty good weekend. I had a long weekend in celebration of Easter, and I watched Jason Part 6, Friday the 13th Part 6. Jason Lives on Sunday. There were no other good Easter movies.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay.
that's the debut of Kane Hodder as Jason. Also zombie Jason. That's because like you don't know, you don't follow the history of Friday the 13th, Travis.
No,
Uh,
not quite.
so I'll give you a little primer. Okay, the first Friday the 13th Part One. It was his mom. He wasn't a factor at all. Two and three were him, and actually four, and then the fourth one that's Tommy Jarvis. That's when Tommy Jarvis becomes a part of the canon, who's played by a young Corey Feldman.
Mm.
Uh, and then part five, it's not Jason at all. It's actually some random dude whose son got killed by Jason, and then it goes into Jason 6, and that's Tommy Jarvis again. He goes and he tries to kill Jason, but Jason's right dead. He's in the grave, but he actually stabs him through the chest with an iron rod, and the lightning comes down and brings Jason back to life. And uh, then part seven, some telepathy chick, and she awakens Jason again, and then Jason takes Manhattan. Look, there's a whole slew of things, but Jason 6.
Yeah, just head out to the history of Friday the 13th movies over on YouTube or something, and and get all spun up.
It's all on Shudder.
Not a sponsor.
For your free 30-day trial, go to Shut In.
What
I
I know you were gonna explain to me, Jason 6 or whatever here, but
already explained it.
if we just started doing ads for random companies, do you think we could convince them to pay us for them? Like if we just started doing ads and then be like, yeah, we've been doing 30-second spots for your product for a month and we haven't gotten anything.
we haven't gotten a single penny from all the ads that we've done for you.
Y-
Speaking of ads, look,
Sherry's Berries, I'm sure would be like, oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me send you a check for a free box of chocolate covered strawberries.
you know what really what really pushes my button, the one button I have, Travis.
Ooh,
When we did that fucking Wondery ad for Rick
Oh
and
yeah, we did
for
that one.
Side Jaws, uh, they ghosted us. We did the ad.
Yeah, we did.
They ghosted us. They didn't give us anything for it. So
In their defense, I did refer to their company as Wonderly, like through the whole ad.
no, it's not. No defense, because, because maybe like a month after, I was like, hey, we put the ad out, and they're like, oh, did you put it out? Okay, nothing. Then like a week later,
Crickets.
hey, we how do we do this? And they're like, nothing. Did you put the ad out yet? That's another one I got again. And I reached out again, nothing. So
Yeah.
thank you to Wonderly.
Yeah, Wonderly. Don't listen to their stuff unless you do. Whatever. I don't.
Yeah.
It's all good. We don't care.
This was good.
Yeah. Yeah. So we actually have stuff to talk about, like pre-planned things to discuss.
Yeah.
And I guess the first thing on the agenda is the economy. No, I'm just kidding. The 2019 Best Picture for the Oscars, the top prize went to a foreign language film. I guess they changed the name of that category. It's, I don't know, world films or something. Anyway, from Korea, the film Parasite cleaned up at the Oscars last year, winning Best Director, a few other awards, but of course winning Best Picture as well. It was a movie that I was not tracking much before award season.
Sure.
And then didn't ever really get out to see it. So I was looking forward to some sort of digital release, and then get the update last week that it is exclusively streaming on Hulu, which I just happen to be a subscriber to. What?
Exclusive.
It's exclusive. It's a streaming exclusive. And so I was like, hey, this is my chance. I can go watch Parasite. You also had not seen the film, so you watched it as well, correct? At least you told me you did. I don't want to assume.
I did.
But yeah, we watched it. I think we both enjoyed it. Before we get into our thoughts on the film itself, kudos to the social media team over at Hulu, who I guess got a bunch of people complaining that Parasite is not in English and that they have to read subtitles because they lack culture or any sort of critical thinking skills.
Oh, that's readingist.
Yeah, I'm a readingist through and through. And yeah, so the team that was running Hulu's Twitter basically just didn't pull any punches when people were complaining about Parasite, and they defended the film ardently, and then went on to later say, like, tell us your zip code, or tell us where you live or whatever, and we'll recommend a movie for you, or some sort of like arbitrary thing, like tell us your favorite food and we'll recommend a movie for you. And then everything that someone tweeted back at them, they would just recommend the movie Parasite. So really good stuff. Great job, Hulu social team. We watched this film on I was gonna say I think Thursday night, but really dates don't matter anymore. Days.
Yeah.
I basically know that there are 7 days between the last time we recorded and now, and it's just a blur. But yeah, we watched it. I thought it was really good. What were your early impressions watching the film?
I thought it was really good as well.
Okay, moving on to our next topic. I was okay. So when you look, and there's a conversation I had with somebody today about this. Like, when you look at the still frame, like the advertising, like promotional photo for the film, it almost looks like it's going to be like a horror film. Just the way like the characters are positioned, and then like the name Parasite also just kind of has sort of a insidious sort of connotation. But this is really like more of a dark comedy that does like have some, suspenseful moments, but it's more a comedy that also has some heavy like social commentaries through it, which I found to be one of the most interesting parts about the film. And it really digs into that, like towards the end of the movie. Because it starts out with this family that doesn't have a lot of money, and they're trying to look for ways to make money, and the son gets offered to replace his friend as a private tutor for a very wealthy family in Korea. And so he takes the job, sort of has to fudge his resume a little bit and make up some fake documents to show that he's been to university or things like that. But then gets the job, and then through a series of various cons, manages to get every other person in his family employed for this rich family. So they're essentially just taking all of their family income from this well-off family. What did you think about the ways that they were able to convince the family to hire all of the people in their family?
Yeah, I'm trying to recall the movie and formulate my thoughts in that way. To answer your question first, um, the by the time it gets to the mom, right? There's a son, the daughter, a father, and a mother, and the mother is the last person to get a a job in the house, and basically they have to replace everybody. They have to replace a driver, and they have to replace a maid that are in the house. And
Yeah.
and by that point in time, like, God, man, this family's a bunch of assholes. in weeding their way in
Right.
a place in a certain sense. And I just I thought that was interesting leading up into it. And then when the movie starts to turn, and the father kind of is starting to like think about what they've done, um, that's when I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Like there is some apologeticness. I'll add the ness at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Um,
it's interesting because I completely agree. As the first like act of the movie, where it seems like this poor family is completely taking advantage of the wealthy family. It does seem like they're straight up lying to them. They're like poisoning people. They're doing all kinds of stuff, like setting people up to to make sure that they can get the jobs and to get other people out of the way. It does sort of make them seem like villains and like that they're really bad people for what they're doing. And at the end, you kind of there is that shift, and you start to realize like, yeah, even though what they did wasn't good, the things the people that they were doing it to, they're not necessarily great people either.
yeah, right. And that's there's a lot of parallels throughout the movie, in the beginning, towards and the end, to where you're like, yeah, like nobody is really really all that great. Um, yeah, I don't, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but just the idea at the very beginning of the movie, and I knew that this was a theme going into it when the dad, uh, they're in their like poor part of town, and the streets are getting fumigated, and like, close the windows, and the dad just flicks a stink bug off of the table, right? Um, and then towards the end of the movie, the rich father is talking about how poor people have a stink to them,
Yeah.
and just stuff like that. Towards the end, also like the kid is outside in the tent in the rain, and it's like a luxury to be camping out in the rain. Meanwhile, their house gets flooded by the rain,
Yeah,
and
yeah. All these poor families are displaced by the rain, and yeah, the back and forth in those moments where you're going between like families that wake up in a gym because their houses are gone, and then you cut back to like the wealthy family that's like, oh, we got some rain last night, but we're headed to the store today because we're gonna throw an impromptu birthday party.
yeah.
Like it really shows that you know how two people's lives can be so different, uh, even though they're so intermingled or within even the same like relative area. Just how much a wealth gap can affect people and really drive them to extremes.
Yeah.
And just sort of the common decency of seeing other people that you're interacting with on a regular basis and not just like looking past them. I don't know. That's something that
Yeah.
stuck with me after the film.
And that's not even talking about the climactic ending, which we won't spoil it here.
We won't spoil, but
Uh, but
scale of 1 to 10, like would you rate? What would you rate the film?
yeah, I'd give it I once got probably about a quarter of the way through. Then it started. Okay, all right, I'm following now. Just to see where it ended. So I'll give it an 8.5, 9.
Yeah. It pushed up like 8.5 to 9. Probably I could give this a 9 and still sleep at night for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
And if you have a Hulu subscription already, definitely watch it.
And if you don't like
Definitely.
subtitles, then it's probably a 5. It's probably a 5 because you probably won't watch it. And so,
Yeah, that's fine.
oh,
I
why did
mean,
that Korean movie win Best Oscar? Oh, boo. That's a
because it's a good movie. Like it is good.
it
Uh,
is well directed.
yeah.
The Host is an amazing movie, horror film by Bong Joon-ho. He's Snowpiercer as well. That's another one.
Yeah, I
Uh,
almost watched Snowpiercer the other night, but Netflix was bogged down and I didn't watch it. So all right. Well, one of the things that is very apparent as you look around TV and a lot of media these days is that the global pandemic that is the coronavirus is affecting all sorts of entertainment and media. I mean, our show looks pretty much the same, slight humble brag, but we didn't have much of a production to begin with. So a lot of other shows like late night TV shows and any other sort of like live shows, things like that, have really had to adjust if they stay on the air at all. Some are running reruns. A lot of the late night talk shows like Stephen Colbert, Steven Universe, The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, Last Week Tonight with Oliver.
Yeah. Oliver Queen.
Oliver Twist. Okay, we're just gonna sit here in silence until I think of it. James Oliver.
Oliver North.
I have Google right here.
Iran-Contra scandal.
John Oliver. Gosh, wow, just a total brain fart, you guys. But he's doing some quality work from his stark white wall in his home. But yeah, anyway, so it is interesting to me to see how these different shows are adapting and trying to still produce entertaining shows from their living rooms, from their home offices, things like that. And Saturday Night Live got into the mix a little bit this last weekend by producing an episode of Saturday Night Live that was not necessarily filmed on Saturday or even at night or live. But it was the cast of SNL who are all self-isolating, staying in their homes, submitting sketches in a work-from-home sort of atmosphere. They brought in a powerhouse host, Tom Hanks, to host the show, and it was very interesting to watch these comedians produce television with what they had in their homes, and have some actually really funny bits. I felt like you actually watched the show before me. What were your thoughts? I want to ask first, do you regularly watch SNL? Like, do you keep up with SNL on a regular basis?
Oh yeah, we do. Usually when there's a new episode on, we will watch it on Hulu the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Which isn't always the best idea because they don't have subtitles the next day usually. And Chelsea really likes subtitles.
She loves them. She loves the subtitles. She must have loved Parasite.
We loved it. We loved the subtitles portion of it. That probably 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10 on the subtitles.
Yeah. So yeah. We watch it. We watch all the new episodes when they come on. Usually, if we get too far behind for whatever reason, then I'm not interested in going back and revisiting unless there was a specific sketch that was like, ooh, I gotta watch it this week.
Yeah.
Like as pumpkins, like whatever.
Oh yeah, Tom Hanks, the pumpkin guy.
Yeah. So I woke up Sunday morning and I saw Tom Hanks's opening monologue, which he filmed from his house. By the way, they must have mailed him some really good equipment to edit that stuff, right? Because his not saying he edited it. No, I'm not
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I'm pretty sure he just sent raw video in. I'm just a hunch.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I was just saying, like the quality of the video for his segments was really solid, and even like the initial thing, like where the camera panned over to the left, and like, okay, I don't know who's doing that, but that looks professional.
Shot on an iPhone. What do you know? I don't know what they use.
But I'd watched some other live or streaming things, and the first thing I thought of with them is, they're not as funny when they're when they're in front of camera. And he caught me off guard with some good jokes, digs at SNL. Those are always good.
Yeah.
And it kind of set the mood to get things going.
Yeah, it was interesting. The show, like the cold open, has all of the cast kind of jumping into a Zoom call, and then the opening theme song is the SNL band playing in their home studios and things like that, and it's all mixed together. Which we're seeing a lot of that. John Krasinski's Some Good News had the entire original Hamilton cast do like a private concert for a little girl who missed Hamilton on her birthday due to quarantine. So a lot of artists are using that platform to work from home, if you will, and produce content. I will be honest. I did not finish the episode, but I saw what is typically about as much of an SNL episode as I tend to catch, which is right up to the first musical guest segment.
Did you watch the musical guest segment or no?
I started watching it, and then my laundry had to be put away, and so I started doing that, and I missed it.
Oh.
And then we ended up finishing another show or something.
We usually watch like the first couple seconds of the musical act, and then if it's not somebody we care about or the music just is not interesting, then we're like, okay, skip, get the week date. And this one, even though we're not huge fans of Coldplay necessarily, Chris Martin, I mean, he did it. He was he's doing it in his house.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to knock him or the show or anything. I had every intention of continuing to watch. I just had television ADD where I was like, oh, all right, I'm watching this while I do this task. I'm moving to a new task. Oh, Sheena wants to watch something else. All right, yeah, let's start that. That is So I'll go back and watch it. But he did a pretty good job for being at home.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these musicians. My kid asked, like, "Oh, look, what he's doing that all?" Like, yeah, he's rich. He's just he's just got all this stuff in the house for him to use. Right after that, they had, of course, it went into Weekend Update, and it was just Colin Jost and Che, and they what they did was it was just the two of them on their own screens, and in the background they had people watching them, so probably on Zoom, but you had the audio track of people laughing at their jokes.
Oh,
Which
nice. Okay.
thing, some people like turn your mics down, but uh, maybe also they're forced to laugh a little bit more because they know that there's like six of them. Like, if there's a particular...
like I do when you tell a joke.
You're right. Like when you tell it, when I tell it, kind of like that. That's how
Right.
that's how it went.
Yeah.
But it was pretty good. Like overall, I think the show was solid. I mentioned this to you as I was watching it, that you have to remember that some of these folks, and yes, I'm almost positive they're like, everybody like filmed their stuff and then sent it into editors because editors need jobs too. And
Yeah.
but a lot of these folks still started off like on YouTube and producing content on the web. Beck Bennett and Kyle Mooney, they had their own YouTube stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
That's how they got on SNL together. But yeah, I just think it was overall solid and interesting.
As a person that produces a weekly show for about an hour every week, do you look at these shows differently when you see a clip of Jimmy Fallon doing the Tonight Show from his living room, or the SNL cast putting a sketch together like with props that they drew like themselves with markers and things like that? Do you like, where does your brain go like when you're watching that? Because I immediately go to the like podcast producer mindset of like, all right, like oh, interesting how they did that. Oh, like, all right, I can see where their limitations were with this sketch. Or, oh wow, it feels really different without like a live audience, because there isn't that feedback of the laughter right away, or things like, I kind of watch it differently. But at the same time, certain things I'm watching, and last week tonight with John Oliver is a great example. I watched a clip of his show from this last weekend, and the show holds up. Like, the writing is still there. Like, it's the same host. They're still putting up those, still images and things. Like, it's produced in a similar way. He just doesn't have the big set with the elaborate background and, the live audience and things like that. So some things like transition really well. Like, do you pick up anything like when you're watching, or do you feel a little stab of like, man, yeah, we could do that, like, or at least we try to do that.
I don't remember where I saw it on Twitter, who said this, so I apologize to anybody who's obviously listening to our show, and is gonna call me out on it. But they said, leave it to Corona. I'm paraphrasing here. Leave it to Corona to show that a lot of celebrities don't have presence and can't maintain that presence on a live streaming platform. The intent is there. I fucked it up, but
Yeah.
that's what's interesting to me. I think let's rewind maybe about 6 months, a year ago, when the video game awards was going on.
Okay.
Do you remember like we tried to, like, I don't know if we tried to live stream. We were talking like Discord to folks, and uh, there's this one YouTube personality that got up on stage to present, and live in front of all these thousands of people, and he was awful. But he's a well-known YouTube personality. But when he's up on stage, he's just like very stone-faced,
Stiff.
tight
Yeah.
body, abs, just rock and bod. But that's kind of that same kind of sentiment with what's going on here. There's a lot of folks who are very talented, that with writing and their own writing as well, with if they're prepared for it, can do amazing things. But not everyone is built in that way. Not everyone is a performer in that way. Like, John Oliver may not be good at improv, or Upright Citizens Brigade, or Whose Line Is It Anyways, but he's still very, very funny with his writing and telling jokes.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's very interesting to me. I am just fascinated by how the entertainment industry has had to shift through this period, and some things, like, I'm curious what things will be a persistent change, like once life goes back to quote unquote normal, and what things will sort of come out of this. What things are going to become new normals for, or are our standards as viewers going to change? Are our expectations going to change? There's so many, news things that pop up on my social media feeds of like, oh, how cute Jimmy Fallon's kids are with him when he's doing the Tonight Show from home, or, oh, look how endearing it is that this celebrity is doing this concert from their house, or whatever. And I'm like, there are millions of insanely creative people doing that every day that have been doing it for years. They just don't have the attention that they should have on them. So I don't know. Maybe this helps some, very talented musicians, reach a new level, or maybe it allows us as viewers to be like, yeah, it doesn't have to be, on a giant stage with a professional lighting for me to go and watch and appreciate, a talented person doing whatever they do.
That's right. That's right. Maybe we can go to Twitch or YouTube.com/apathetic enthusiasm every Monday.
Every Monday, twitch.tv/apathetic enthusiasm.
There were a couple of skits. Last little bit about SNL on here. I thought it was interesting. They were forced to do this video webcam type comedy, and they did a good job of using it as a kind of like a themed they themed it around that a good handful of times, like with Zoom, people on Zoom being awkward, or the you talk about the sports the sports announcers being bored. You didn't get there's a sketch like that as
Oh, is
well.
there?
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and check it out. I will
And
tell you that the Zoom sketch with the two ladies from The Office that are like the older ladies that don't quite understand how to use Zoom. There's a lovely woman that I work with. She is a receptionist who joins our Zoom calls weekly for a staff meeting. She is a delight, but how that sketch resonates with me, and not just with her, but with just multiple people in the office who all have different levels of competency with Zoom. It's terrific. I love it.
did you get the one with Mikey Day where he's a live streamer, a gamer?
No, I'll have to watch that one too.
That's a good one. Uh, he's, he's like, hey, it's time to play some of Call of Duty Warzone. I haven't played this one yet, guys, but I'm gonna give it a shot. and uh, and so it just progresses from there, and it's like spot on. But
No, I saw the Bernie Sanders
oh
special message. I saw the Zoom call. I saw the Drake song one.
oh yeah,
I saw working out with Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
oh, yeah, that's a
Which is
Ginsburn.
That's a Ginsburg. So yeah, there's some solid stuff on the old SNL.
Yeah, yeah. All that stuff. Going back to it, it reminds me that it's kind of when there was like a League of Legends skit, a couple months ago or whenever it was, that it was so niche that I think a lot of people don't get that is a real thing. Versus,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
absolutely, right.
Like I'm like, yeah, no, I completely get what's happening here. Uh, um, and like if my mom and dad would be like, is that what Brett watches? Is that yeah? So
Yeah, I love when those sketches get through, right? Where like somebody writes something that is so niche like that, but it still manages to get through the week of all the rewrites and cuts and things like that, and you get like a unique little commentary on something that you may be in a small group of people that understands what they're talking about. But
yeah,
it is now time for a update. That's a puppet update. Puppet
You asked
update.
for it. Here it is.
puppet update.
Puppet update. This is our month of April challenge. Brandon and I randomly decided to build puppets. So yeah, Brandon. We both got our sketches done last week. If you want to see those sketches, make sure that you head over to Instagram, apathetic_enthusiasm. You can see a side-by-side photo of the concept sketches for our puppets. For those of you that don't know, Brandon and I have decided that we are going to do a craft from home in our social distancing and build a couple of extra friends, some puppets that we can use for this show, for private time, whatever we feel like using the puppets for. How's your puppet building been going so far, Brandon?
The biggest challenge I've had in puppet building was, wait for it, getting the materials. No, you didn't have to wait wait long for it. Uh, there's a there's a joke by old oh damn it, the comedian, very dry, doesn't matter. Or it says like, what do you? Never mind. I screwed it up. Materials. Wait for it. Materials. I ordered materials from Joannes Fabric about a
Not a sponsor.
not a sponsor, but at Joannes Fabrics, they've got all of your crafting goods: yarn, thread, needles, more thread, fabric, more fabric, different colors, fleece, flannel, you name it.
I call this bit Brandon naming everything he knows about crafting.
Fleece, flannel, and felt. That's what I should have said, and I had two fingers out.
Come on down to Fleece, Flannel, and Felt, your one-stop shop for all your crafting needs over at Feces, Flannel, and Felt.
Well, when you shop at Joannes,
Are you running out of toilet paper? Head on down to Fleece, Flannel, and Felt. We have all of your reusable wiping products.
have you ever used felt for your butt? It feels good. All right, I ordered online curbside, and I ordered some fleece, I ordered some foam, I ordered a couple other things, and then then it's like send me the email and said confirmed your order, but wait for us to send another email to pick up your curbside delivery. Okay, that was like a day and a half later, and it some like okay cool. Let me go to Joanne's. I drove after work because I was still this. I'm like on a week telework schedule
Yeah.
now, and so after work,
So essential.
I drove to Joanne's and I drove past it, and there was a line outside Joanne's. I was like, "What the hell?" And like everyone was wearing a mask. I'm like, okay, all right.
It
I
was
didn't,
a superhero convention in front of a craft store.
and it's curbside, and I'm like, well, they're all by the curb. I don't see any cars. I don't see any like attendants outside of this Joanne's. Okay, I'm not waiting in this line. I'll come back tomorrow. I'll come back tomorrow in the morning because I didn't have the next day to work. Okay, Joanne's opens at 10. I get there at 9:45, and there's a line outside the door. I'm like, what the hell? But I need this fabric because
Because I gotta make this puppet, darn it.
I got my ski mask on. I look really really bitchin', right? And I'm waiting in line, and Matt is telling me that I can get 6 months of Xbox Game Pass for half price, and I'm like, wow, great.
Wow. Wow. Great. Wow.
I'm having a conversation with you, and I'm like, man, this stupid line. What kind of shitty curbside is this? And then I see a car pull up, and an attendant comes out, and then hands a bag to the car, and the car drives off. I've been here 45 minutes. I'm like, motherfucker. And then I'm like, there's that.
Just hold on. While we're talking for this 45 minutes, I'm like, you did curbside, right? And you're like, yeah, but this is it. And I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? Because like Sheena does curbside. She just pulls up somewhere. They bring it to the car.
That doesn't seem normal, you said.
Yeah.
And then I said, what is normal nowadays? And you're like, good point.
Yeah.
And then 10 minutes later, I realized curbside was the actual thing. So I did like the walk of shame to my car. I like left the line that I've been waiting in there forever.
6 feet apart from everyone else.
Yeah. Walk of shame to my car. Made a big U-turn. Drove up. What's the last name? Cruz. Here's your bag. Okay. Well, that was the toughest part of my Muppet.
And then you just drove past that line, just like flipping people off. Like, ha ha! I got my half-inch foam for $17 a yard.
Put your mask on. Yeah, so many people.
Yeah, it is unfortunate that we decided to do a crafting project in the same month that the Centers for Disease Control decided everyone that goes outside their house should have a face covering, and every person that owns a sewing machine decided they can make them to fill the need. So fabric stores are now just being taxed.
Yeah, fabric stores, the new hot topic.
Yeah, I don't have my materials yet. I have ordered them. I'm hoping to pick them up in the next couple days. But yeah, you're well on your way towards having a puppet. You've built a full torso, if I'm not mistaken. So
You are not mistaken. I would have actually brought it in here for the video folks, but I'll do that. Do that for the post show.
Post show. Make sure you stick around for the post show. After we end the real show, it's time for the post show.
But yeah, built a torso, built 2 arms. I learned the fine art of sewing. I didn't sew the torso that well because I was like, well, you're not going to see the seam anyway because it'll be on the back underneath the shirt, or just on the back in general. I did the arms, and the first arm took a long time, and it actually took about 2.5 hours. I started before Jason Lives. Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives.
How did they get to the 6th one though?
Okay, well,
we'll put a pin in that. We'll come back to it.
Killed by Jason's mother. Okay. By the way, Crispin Glover is in the 4th one. Okay. You distracted me. So I sewed the first arm, and it basically like you get like 1/2 the fabric. That's by the way, this is what took me the longest time was drawing the stupid hand. I'm terrible with hands, even my hands. A few pieces of fabric and then sew them together. The first one I was like, oh, that's how you sew. Okay. I watched a couple of YouTube videos.
You're hand sewing, by the way, this entire thing, which is a feat unto itself.
And then once you've finished sewing, then you gotta flip it inside out. Well, I made the hands a little bit too small, and so the flipping inside out process took a long time. You have to flip it inside out because you don't want the seams to show. I learned so much.
Yeah. This is why we do these fun tasks. We learn to appreciate the hard work that goes into sewing things.
Yeah. Finish the second arm. I just as proof of concept, I was like, I need the sticks to move the hands, and I'm like, I'll worry about this later. Oh, I do have bamboo skewers inside my kitchen drawer, and so I stuck the bamboo skewers inside the arms, and now I need to make them longer, but
yeah. Well, we will post another pup date with some photos this week over on Instagram, so make sure you're following over there. Maybe we'll throw one on Twitter as well at Appenthusiast. But yeah, I have some catching up to do, but I think I shall catch up relatively quickly once I put the work in. So
sure.
In other news and other things that have been consuming our thoughts and time over the last week, this guy right here. More Animal Crossing. He's back. This is a quote from Facebook Messenger. Wait, Animal Crossing has terraforming? Oh man, I love this game again, or something like that. It's paraphrasing, but
paraphrasing.
Yeah. So you're back in the game. It was touch and go there for a minute, but it seems like you're into getting your island back up to speed.
Yeah, we had this conversation last week. By the way, this is our Animal Crossing minute.
Yeah, another reoccurring segment.
As of now, we talked last week about how the first profile is the only profile that has progression, and for like the first week or so. Well, I did a lot of time traveling. I got caught up because I wasn't not going to cheat my way to where I'm supposed to be because that's stupid. Because nobody tells you that the second profile can't do anything. Got the time travel, got all the way up, and so now I'm like, okay, I'm where I need to be. I can start building stuff, and I can start making goods and selling turnips, doing all the fun stuff, and catching fish. I'm up to 57 fish before I got to get to 100 fish in a row without missing a fish. I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
I believe in you. I've had some fish misses lately. I got reset. I'm not proud of it.
The tip that I have is the fish will no more than 5 will they get up to. And don't anticipate the hit, just let it happen because there's a good half a second to second when the fish actually hits that you can press the button.
Yeah.
So don't don't hit it as soon as the fish bites. No, that's how you're gonna miss the fish, right? What you do, it hits. If it goes down, cool. That's a half a second to second. Boom, I got it. 57 fish. 57 fish can't be
The,
57 fish can't be wrong.
these are Animal Crossing angler tips with Dolphins fan Brandon Cruz.
Um, yeah, I got my fish tackle backpack on.
What was your trophy from the fish tournament? Did you get a trophy?
Mm, mm-mm.
We may not have gone that far because you actually had to come to my island to
Did.
do the fishing
did.
tournament. That guy stuck around till 6 p.m. I believe was the last time that those lures would go in the water. And man, I fished so much that day. I ignored my family. I ignored so much to fish in Animal Crossing because it was a welcome distraction from the Bunny Day hijinks that have plagued those Animal Crossing fans for the last few weeks. But good news, Bunny Day is over. The eggs are gone. I can confirm every time you dig up an X, it's a fossil. Yeah, it's good. I did see a great tip over on the Animal Crossing subreddit because that's how my life is going right now. I was suggesting that people store a stack of like Earth eggs in their inventory and then bury it on their friends' islands so that they can keep the joy of Bunny Day going all year round. It's a sick and demented thing. But yeah, the one point I want to touch on, and then we'll stop talking about Animal Crossing for people who don't care about it. You mentioned that you've been doing time traveling. It has affected your income. It's affected your progression in the game. But I'm curious because there are parts of my island that are further along than yours, and then there are parts that are not. So what is the current status of your island in terms of progression? Is your residence center upgraded? Are you still working out of a tent?
Today he was building up resident services,
Okay.
and tomorrow the brand new resident services building is opening up. So I don't have to do anything else. That's the last bit of it, I think. For the most part.
Well, no, because then you have to get the I think his name's KK something, the dog that is
Harvey?
no the guy that plays the guitar that all the albums like the music albums.
Uh,
He's the big celebrity musician in the game. He's a white dog with a guitar. You have to make your island status get up to a level where he will want to come to your island and perform a concert. And in order to do that, you have to get your island rating up to a certain level. So that's where I'm sitting at right now, where I have to I have to make sure I have enough residents there, and then you have to decorate your island enough so that your status goes up, your score goes up, and then this guy will come and perform a concert.
okay.
And
Uh,
then I think you get the terraforming stuff after that.
oh, damn it! I was about to say I don't care about, and then you said that way you get terraforming. I'm like, okay, well I guess I do care. Shoot.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess I'll go do that with some time travel. Just kidding. I bought a and
What I'm curious is how time travel will help you achieve some of that stuff.
it doesn't really. But what it does do is it makes your turnips go rotten right away.
Yeah.
Do not time travel with turnips. Um, really the only thing time travel will help you with is like if you're waiting in real time for a building to complete or somebody to come on the island, or if you want to get so much interest for your bills.
Yeah.
But other than that, or if you want to do another set of dailies for the Nook miles, or refresh your trees to get more materials and get rocks and stuff. So I guess a lot of stuff.
Yeah, a lot of ways it can help you. All right, that's the Animal Crossing minute, and I think I mean that's about gonna do it. We had one other sort of we've had one topic that's sort of been waiting for the last couple of weeks to be talked about, and that's home workouts. But Brandon,
I haven't started.
you haven't really started that. So
Hold on.
my challenge to you this week, and I'm gonna be real honest, I didn't do my workout today either. But we're both working from home this week. Let's figure out some pros and cons about the ways to work out at home, and then we'll come back next week and discuss it on our next episode. So if you have any tips or ideas for different home workouts or suggestions, send those over to us at facebook.com/apatheticenthusiasm show, or send us an email, apatheticenthusiasmshow@gmail.com. Send us your workouts. Maybe we'll try a couple of them. If we don't get injured, then we will talk about them on next week's episode. And that is about it for another episode. Unless Brandon, you had anything else you were burning to talk about in the main show?
No, there's nothing I'm burning up about to to talk about on the main show. A couple questions out there. Sire Dark, you see the Hellraiser remake on the way? Just kidding. That was my question to Sire Dark. Uh, he can come on the show and answer. Also, have a good day, face Matt. Talk about your love of sports video games? Question mark exclamation. Negative. Hey, Travis, you and I we played some
We
we
played some Xbox this weekend.
Xbox this weekend. That was fun.
It was fun.
Yeah, you hung out with me, Mateo Masgrande, my friend Aaron, and Aaron's friend Jim's, and yeah, you hung in there. We just had this
Hung
conversation,
out.
like voice chatting, and uh, like being around bunch of strangers and not really having anything to say, and because you and I talk so much to each other, it's always so weird to have you on the line, but you not really saying a lot.
Yeah.
Because one, me and Matt are going, oh, 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 and Aaron's being like, get a Sea of Thieves, what? Get a galleon, get a galleon.
You can have 5 people. You just get the right ship. The reality is, in most social situations, I tend to default into an observer, where I will sort of feel out the vibe and see and listen to a lot of people before I become very active in the conversation. And I think that was part of what happened Saturday night. Was it Friday night? Whenever it was.
Yeah.
Where I was like, yeah, let's play. And then for starters, we played 2 games that I'd never played before. So I was like, oh, crap. How do I do? Okay, what's the button that makes me jump? Oh, crap. Okay. So I was trying to figure out how to play the games. And then we played Rocket League, which I haven't played in, like 4 years. And yeah. And then it was Rocket League.
Is that what we're that's what we're talking about? Be prepared. The lyrics to "Be Prepared."
Yeah, we were talking about some, and then I think Aaron's wife started singing the lyrics to a Newsies song, which my daughter was in a kids production of Newsies that they were supposed to have their concert any day now, but COVID got in the way.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I was very relaxed. I had several beverages throughout the evening, and I was just having a good time. It was fun. So thank you to everybody that allowed me to join in your little club. Sorry, I threw the numbers off a little bit.
No, it was fun. It was fun. I remember the the "Be Prepared" thing because they didn't know that the hyenas say, "There'll be food, lots of food. We repeat endless meat" in the background, and so uh, it's Matt was then saying like, "Be prepared for the chance of a life meet.
He's adding meat to all of the words.
Prepared for sensational meat."
And speaking of Matt, we're going to close this show with Matt, who spent a good bit of his channel points to have Brandon talk like his dog, and he wanted you to talk about your love of sports video games. So go ahead and give us your version of that.
Okay. Hello, I'm Brandon's dog Camila, and here's what I want you to know about sports video games. Well, one time, Brandon beat Matt at video games like NFL Blitz. Just kidding. Matt's so much better at NFL Blitz than Brandon. Ha ha ha. Hardy har har. I'm a dog and I know what NFL Blitz was, even though I'm only like 2 years old and I wasn't alive for that story. But I heard it on the news.
Camila knows that story because you just walk around your house furious about your failings at NFL Blitz from back in the day. Well, thank you, Brandon, for doing that. Thank you, Matt, for spending those channel points. Thank you, Alex Richmond, for the bits that you're cheering along the way. And thanks to everybody who's watching and chatting. We'll catch up on some more of the chat here in the after show. But yeah, thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you want to get in on the fun, make sure that you head over to Twitch or YouTube on Monday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern time. That's when we stream this show as well as Interdimensional RSS during the Rick and Morty season. So yeah, hang out there. And if you're not listening, live, it's okay. We still love you guys too.
That's absolutely true. And tell you what, we say this all the time, and then you guys send us suggestions, and then we ditch them to talk about whatever we want to talk about. But send us your suggestions for things to talk about, and we'll include them.
We'll add them to the list right after home workouts, which we've not talked about for 2 weeks.
On the bottom of our show notes, it still has like a list of topics that I wrote down, and then we've never talked about.
Yeah, someday we're finally going to talk about The Division 2. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that topic. No, thank you guys so much for listening. If you're an audio listener, thank you for listening, for subscribing. If you've given the show a rating, we appreciate that. If you haven't, why not go take the time, give us a review, help others find the show. We really appreciate it. And that is going to do it for now. We're going to head over to our web exclusive after show. So thank you guys so much for listening. And until next time, I'm Travis.
And I'm Brandon.
We'll see you next time.
Hey.
Let me get one thing straight. I ain't got no fedora. Okay, guys. That's point number one. Almost all of my hats are like dad hat, baseball hats like Brandon has. He wore it because his hair's messed up. I don't have that problem. I'm pretty sure there's some Mickey ears around here that I could grab, but otherwise I don't think there's any other hats.
This is why I wore a hat, right? Not because I wanted it to be the first time I've ever worn a hat on stream or in public. But because my hair is messed up, and I didn't want that to be on the official Apathetic Enthusiasm YouTube channel.
Here's the thing, though, like
it'll still be there.
This video is still there. Like the video hasn't cut in any way. You just took the hat off after we were done recording the audio portion. I don't know why that doesn't make any sense, Brandon.
Fuck.
Go get your hat. No. Other things I want to bring up. Shout out to XXXX Canada XXXX who is following us on Twitch, as well as Heard Jackson. Thank you for the follow. Rachel. Not to make a big deal of things, but was recently deemed a top fan on our Facebook page. Top fan in the house. You guys better watch out. She says you could say things are getting pretty serious. I can't say that anything we do is very serious, but thank you for helping out over on
Enthusiasm.
Apathusiasm.
Hey, we talked about this before, but that 30-day music challenge is getting pretty hot and heavy over there on my Twitter over at Barnyard Cruise.
What's getting hot and heavy over there?
My 30-day song challenge.
Oh,
By the way, did you know that I interacted with Rob Schraub on Twitter the other day?
no, because you didn't send me a picture of it. You usually send me a picture every time that happens.
I know. I didn't want to get too excited about it because I knew I'd be let down once once I realized that we're not best friends. Yeah, he tweeted about uh, Night of the Living Dead, the 1990 remake, uh, directed by Tom Savini and starring Tony Todd, who then we all know who Tony Todd is. Final Destination and all that. Anyway, uh, one of the coolest facts that I know from Night of the Living Dead, the remake, is that the actress who played Barbara, Patricia Tillman, was a stunt woman who was the stunt person for the actress who played Lex in Jurassic Park. And um, so I Rob Schraub tweeted about the Night of the Living Dead, and then I said like the greatest fact that I know is that she's stunt woman for the actress who played Lex, and he's like, wasn't she also a Deadite in Army of Darkness? And I was like, oh my god, IMDb, oh my god, she was a Deadite. She was a Deadite in Army of Darkness. And that was the extent of our interaction. But I was like, cool.
But
Like,
now you and Rob Schraub are best friends.
we're best friends now. I wanted to have I didn't want it to be like a starstruck interaction. I just wanted to be like, oh, cool, yeah.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
to to set my expectations low.
Yeah.
I missed that.
I'm gonna be real honest with you guys. I set an alarm in my phone because there is a meteor shower tonight on my island in Animal Crossing.
Oh,
and I gotta get those. I gotta get those shooting star bits. I'm not going anywhere right now. I'm just letting you know.
okay.
If
All right.
if while we're talking, I start going like this, you know why. By the
Good
way,
stuff.
this is unofficial endorsement. I bought that Switch Lite that I was talking about getting, and this thing is sick. I like it. I've had a Nintendo Switch for
How old are you?
Sick. It's
That shit's lit, yo.
it is. It's straight fire, as the kids say. Bet.
What's so great about it?
It's. I mean, it's small. It's smaller than the regular Switch, which adds a little nice portability to it. But I don't know. It feels really solid. I mean, the Nintendo Switch, the fact that you can take the Joy-Cons off and on and off is great. And there's obviously games I can't play with the Switch Lite because they require those independent Joy-Cons. But it's smaller, which I thought that a regular Joy-Con felt small in my hand, but this for some reason feels like better. Like the fact that it is smaller, I think because it leans more toward a portable console like a 3DS or Game Boy, that sort of thing, instead of trying to do both. And I don't know, I've just really enjoyed using it. I've only played pretty much only played Animal Crossing on it, but it's like my primary Nintendo console now because your island is tied to the console that you play it on, and so I can't go play it on my TV. I can't go, it's all right there. It's all on the light, and but yeah, it's pretty sweet. And it's $100 cheaper than a Switch. So if you don't have a Switch and you're budget conscious, why not? Why not? N64. Yes.
Great.
I have an N64. Oh, it's not in. No, it's not in here. I should set up the N64.
I don't have a Nintendo 64 anymore. That's one of the console I don't have on me.
No.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I probably won't get one of those at all.
Yeah, I mean that's fair. You don't have to.
Uh,
I like it.
I want to bring something up to change the subject because I don't really have much more to comment on the Switch Lite. If that's okay with you.
I'm totally fine with that.
And it was kind of an abrupt kind of janky transition, but I want to make sure that you're okay with us moving on from that.
Hold on, let me think about it.
Think about it. You think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Philip Marks writes, "I wanted to confirm your suspicions. Quibi is worthless. I'd like you to elaborate on that when you're with a quick review. I did see that Sam Raimi, talking about Army of Darkness, coincidentally, has released, I guess, a series of horror shorts, or is at least one 10 to 20-minute short in his Sam Raimi way on there. And I know Reno 911 is coming back as a Quibi show, which makes me sad because I really don't want Quibi, but I do want more Reno 911.
Yeah, I saw a headline today that was something about how like if Quibi had known that this coronavirus thing was going to happen, they would have enlisted more help from traditional like television bookers or things like that, because television itself is having an issue with producing content, but for some reason Quibi is, because Quibi had a huge start with like 1.7 million downloads or something crazy like that for their initial launch. Now most of that's on a free trial, which that's how you get people into the ecosystem, if you will, and then hope they stick around. But yeah, I don't know. It's it's not something that I'm
excited about.
Even excited about a little bit.
On my radar in any way other than what we just talked about. If it could be casted to a TV, it would be better. The Most Dangerous Game seemed like it could be interesting, and same with the Sophie Turner show. I don't want to watch my phone that much. No, it's true. I've got too much other stuff on there, like Canva. I gotta help Travis make images for our YouTube thumbnails.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to do a YouTube overhaul here pretty quick. I gotta lean in to that.
Yeah, gotta fix take malicious logic off of our website.
Thanks to anybody that helped with that.
Yeah,
making that malicious logic happen.
Let's see. What's your favorite recipe using ground beef, Travis? Alexander Richmond asks.
Not my favorite by any means,
ask Xander Richmond.
But tonight for dinner, we did a Walt Disney World copycat recipe for their cheeseburger egg rolls. These are something that you can purchase in. They're near Adventureland, and they sell pizza egg rolls and cheeseburger egg rolls. We did not make the pizza ones tonight, but it's basically ground beef, onions, cheese, mustard. There's some cut up pickles in there. And then you put it all inside of an egg roll wrapper and fry it, right? Mm-hmm. The problem is the recipe that my wife looked up said to get spring roll wrappers, and a spring roll and an egg roll.
Different.
They're different. And try as we might to fry those and make them the same consistency, it just didn't do the job.
No. If you're trying to make like a lumpia, like a cheeseburger lumpia, maybe, but it's different. It's different.
So outside of the actual wrapper, they were still pretty good. Is that my favorite ground beef recipe? No, I don't think it is.
Well, what is your favorite? That
tacos? I like tacos. Sloppy Joe. Where is Sloppy Joe these days?
He's in the other room. I'm using his head on the torso to make sure that I can talk and still move the hand.
What else do you use ground beef for? I don't
Well,
know.
I can tell you what my favorite ground beef recipe is. And what it is it's a recipe my mom has made. uh, the white half of my family, where I get my beautiful complexion. But she makes this chili with ground beef, and she simmers the meat and the tomatoes, the stewed tomatoes, um, you know, garlic, salt, whatever, all that type of stuff. She simmers it with stripped green you know hatch
Sh-
green chili, hatch
shallots.
hatch green chili, and it simmers in there for a long time, for a good couple hours, and it's just, yeah, God, it's just so good. It's just so good. I have ground beef. I have green chili here, but the green chili aren't that. It's actually probably a good time to make them because they're not the hot ones that I have. My mom got like a really mild batch. But yeah, that's probably my hands down favorite ground beef recipe.
All right. Good. Good question. Good
Yeah,
question.
great question. Um, is the recipe on Disney's site? The chili recipe, or just kidding.
I don't know. There are a lot apparently of copycat recipes out there. I think there's whole cookbooks of copycat recipes
It's a cookbook.
from Disney parks. So it was the second Disney parks recipe we've tried to make since quarantine started. We made the Main Street cinnamon rolls a few weeks ago, which were crazy good. This one was a bit of a flop. I know that the My Disney Experience app, as well as the Disneyland app, recently put out a way to make Dole Whip, the classic Disney uh, dessert, at in your home, and it's essentially just like vanilla ice cream, pineapple juice, and and I think some pineapple, uh, and they just blend it. But that sounds great. That
Hmm.
I love me some Dole Whip. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I just Google that stuff. Come on, guys.
Chelsea made yesterday for Easter. Easter breakfast brunch. She took she took bread, slices of bread, and she rolled them shits up with a
She tore them and passed them with fish, and everyone fed and took extra home.
uh, she flattened them out with a rolling pin, and then took cream cheese and some kind of mixture, blah 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 blah, and then cinnamon and sugar. Rolled them up, tossed them in the oven for however long. Cinnamon rolls, great, so good, tasted
So
pretty
good,
good.
pretty
Simple.
good.
But now we have no more bread, which is great.
Which in times like these, Brandon, I want a toilet paper update. How's the TP doing in your house? You still doing good?
Yeah, still doing. Last time I went to the store, I picked up another. God, okay. First of all, the stores it was the same day I went to Joannes. Okay, I'm like, okay, well, I'm out. If I'm gonna get infected, I'm gonna be infected.
You're gonna be
So
infected in one fail swoop.
yeah,
Get all the infection all at once.
go to the store. One, I'm surprised by how few people here in Florida are wearing their masks out. At Joanne's, everybody.
Well, yeah, they all made them themselves.
Winn Dixie, nobody. Like very few people at Winn Dixie wearing their masks. Okay.
So when you
Uh,
get infected, it'll be because of Winn Dixie.
yeah. But the aisles, they have arrows pointing which direction to go. They do that to make sure that people are going one direction. There's not any pileups and people aren't like walking past each other like strangers in the night, right? But that doesn't stop people from going the wrong direction because they're like, this isn't affecting me. Why do I have to listen to this stupid arrow? Um, I don't remember what point that was necessarily, but yeah, masks. Oh, getting bread.
Toilet
What?
paper. How is your toilet paper?
Okay. Oh, okay. The arrow thing is going to come back into. I get to the TP slash paper towel aisle, following the arrow, and uh, very very bare, as you know, in the stores. These aisles, there is a stack of like quilted northern on one side, and then on the other side there's some Bounty paper towels, and there's a lady on the toilet paper side, like looking. There's only two different types. There's like the 24 pack and a 12 pack, and she's like feeling like it's bread. Like she's testing the freshness of the toilet paper, and I'm just like waiting there because I'm staying 6 feet away at least. Like, come on, come on. The other lady, same thing, just with the paper towels. Like, I didn't know this is a thing. Meanwhile, there's people walking the opposite direction towards, because they're just like, this is all they came in for. And there's like, they don't care about distancing. They just like walk up, and like the lady's still feeling up the TP, and then this dude comes and grabs a 24 pack, and he leaves. And it was like, get out of here. Get out of the way. I just need to buy my 6 boxes of wine, my toilet paper, my, and my paper towels.
Yeah,
My
blowing up in the chat, the fact that they were touching them, that's like one of the cardinal sins of shopping in this pandemic is you only touch the things you're taking. You don't test the produce. You don't squeeze the Charmin. You look at it, you observe, you make an educated decision about your purchasing power, and then you touch it if you're taking it with you. Yeah, don't go squeezing all the TP, you guys.
I just don't. That one, it boggles my mind. Like, and I have to wonder, not in a pandemic, does this lady still do that? Like, does she just go down the row? Like, there's Charmin. Let's see. Oh, this is the quadruple ply.
Hmm.
No, no, uh, this one's been squeezed too much. That means when it comes off the roll, it's gonna it's not gonna separate. It's not gonna perforate.
The thing that kills me is you said there was one brand there.
Yes,
So your options are yes or no.
24 or 12.
But it's the same stuff. It's
Pick
just,
one.
well, if it's really nice, I'll buy the 24 because I know if it's not nice, I'll only take the 12 because then I can come out and get more toilet paper that is clearly readily available everywhere.
I'll be back. I'll be back when you have the right.
Yeah, I'll come back in 14 days after I recover from the coronavirus. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yes, I have plenty. I did install the bidet. Um, but I wake up in the morning before Chelsea and my son, and I don't want to poop in that bathroom because like I'm awake, like I'm the only person awake, and I don't want to flush the toilet because then it's gonna wake her up. I want her to sleep in. He's homeschooling now, so he wakes up at 11. Whatever. I
Then you move that beautiful butt sprayer.
I might move it to the kids' bathroom because that's the one I blow up every every morning after I have my coffee on the back porch. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, this is
Yeah,
this
you gotta do that self-care, brother.
the
You
Rona coming.
you gotta and it lowers your toilet paper usage. It's a win-win-win.
It was actually beneficial that I didn't use it the past couple days because Mrs. Renfro's habanero salsa, so good. You mix it, especially if you mix it with some queso. It's just it's wonderful. Now, two things I'm finding out about myself. Welcome to the show, everybody. Is one, probably becoming lactose intolerant very rapidly. Rapidly
Ooh,
intolerant.
I've been there. I've been there. I as someone that's come through it and is on the other side, I I'll be praying for you.
And two, it's that salsa. Oh,
Yeah,
and if
it's a
you're
wicked combination.
and if you're putting water back there, the next morning, hey, you're not supposed to drink water when you're eating them peppers. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not supposed to drink water, then you're probably not supposed to be spritzing water in your butthole when you got that
It's
oil coming out.
I mean, it's interesting logic. I just don't know if I agree with it. All right. So moving on to a very similar question topic. Alex Richmond asks, French press or drip? You mentioned coffee.
Oh,
What is your coffee production preference?
Keurig.
Ooh, yeah. So
Look, the the
yeah,
world, the world's ending. I don't need to save the world through not using K cups.
right. But in the same note, with so much time, with such limited time left, why submit yourself to uh, such crappy coffee? You've got time. We're not going anywhere. Why not brew a French press? Uh, why not make a pour over, as Philip Marks suggests? I'm going to tell you why. Because it's too much work. I don't have a Keurig at home. I will tell you that I was drinking K cups at the office because we had a crap ton there and readily available, and so they were free, and I could just make a K cup and be good to go. But since I've been home, I've been doing some drip coffee, brewing a big old pot so that my wife and I can enjoy coffee throughout the morning. But yeah, if I'm like really trying to be bougie about the whole thing, I do have a pour over set. I do not have a French press currently, but I've had them in the past. I do like a good French press when it's available. Um, Interesting editor's note. I saw someone make like uh frothed milk or whatever, like for a cappuccino, using a French press. They heated the milk, poured it into a French press, and then used the French press to like whip the milk,
Gotta
and then they made a cappuccino with it. I thought that
gotta
was
gotta be careful. You don't want to make it and turn it into butter.
oh yeah. He was real close. He was right on the line there. Could have gone either way. It
Hey,
was
speaking of butter, I talked to you about this a little bit, but I didn't talk about it to everyone else about this. Popcorn. I went to the store. I didn't buy popcorn in the bags. I'm like, this will they'll get old, and then there's only 3 packets. You know what? I'll get just the jar of kernels, right? And then I'm like, I have a popcorn popper, or whatever, the air popper, and I made that one time. Made some popcorn. It's air popped, so it doesn't have natural oils on it. So I had to melt some butter and pour it on there, and then pour a salt on there. Yeah, yeah. It was okay. It was popcorn. The other night, I think maybe it wasn't the night we played Xbox, but it was one of these nights. I was like, man, I should get some popcorn. As I went over there, went to the jar. I looked at the jar, looked at the instructions. I was like, "Oh, wait, you don't need an air pop? You don't need an air popper? Oh, you just pour some into a pan, a pot, and cover it with some oil, and you can pop it like that. You
that's
can,
that's how they used to make popcorn, like before 1970, I think.
that look, it blew my fucking mind
Yeah.
because I legitimately was like, I don't know why. I was like, I just always was. I was trained to think that it was either Jiffy Pop or in a bag. Those are the only way that popcorn kernels can actually pop. I I don't. It's dumb. It's dumb to me. Like the Native Americans didn't have microwaves
They
as bad.
didn't plug in their little countertop machine where it all comes over the top and then dumps into the bowl.
Yeah,
And you could melt the butter on the top.
but dude, it's that was I some I didn't have any vegetable. Well, I did have some vegetable oil, but I actually used avocado oil in there instead of vegetable oil. And just a little bit healthier. It has a higher smoke point, and I pop the popcorn, and then it's got a little bit of the oil on there, and then I just a little, like a dab of butter, just a little smidgen of butter, melted that, put it on, and then got the salt on there, mixed it up in the pot, right? Yeah, mix it up, and like Emerald Lagasse, yeah, man.
Bam.
And like I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry because it was the best popcorn I've had in years. It's just so good.
Rachel asks, "Are you freaking serious? Did you grow up in the '80s?"
Of course, I grew up. In the
We
80s.
both grew up in the '80s. Yeah. But my family had the little air popper thing.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, the thing
Because
that
the
looked.
air popper is in a way a bag, right? Because there's air in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
I don't look. I look. I deserve to be shamed for this, but I'm just saying it's so just like the things we take for granted that we like growing food, right? Like Chelsea and the kid, they put two red beans from the pantry, dried red beans from the pantry into a cup with soil, and that shit it bloomed, it grew in like a day, and I'm like, what? We got beans that can grow in the pantry this whole time?
We're never gonna die. I can build a lattice for these beans. You just watch. You just wait and see.
I would so. Oh, by the way, this is the other stop that I stopped on at the Joannes trip. Was I stopped over at Lowe's to get
Stay
some.
home, Brandon.
But I bought one of those planters, like with the popping up planters and planter soil. Bought a bunch of seeds, and then as I was opening it, I was doing it with a kid, and I was opening up the seeds. I was like, we eat all these vegetables all the time. Why am I buying seeds? God, God, I'm so stupid.
I yeah.
I have jalapenos in the fridge. I have so many seeds.
Good job. Oh man, I want to grow peppers.
Right? It's too cold there right now, though.
Oh yeah, yeah. It snowed yesterday, but we're creeping our way back up. But yeah, man, I want to grow some peppers. That'd be bomb. All right, yeah. What else is going on, guys? What other food do you want to talk about? Marvel as a man learns how food works. Yeah, we didn't claim to be the smartest guys. All right, we just like to have fun.
I've always thought about that, right? Like in an apocalypse, yeah, like, I'm gonna die because I don't know how to grow food. But it's just so damn easy. It just takes a little bit of takes. It's not just work. It's waiting. It's like Animal Crossing in real life.
Yeah, I can tell you there have been several times in the last week where like I know there's a chore that needs to be done at home, and I'm like, but I gotta pay Tom Nook, and these trees aren't gonna chop themselves. I gotta build 6 orange mounted wall clocks to sell to Nook's Cranny before they close tonight. Otherwise, that hot item's gonna be gone, and I'm not gonna get that 2 times price bump. So yeah, the dishes can wait. Yeah, that goes over well at the house. We're all in quarantine. We're doing our thing, guys. Yeah, Alex says I would need a greenhouse. So here's the reality. My thought on growing peppers is fun right up into the part where I have to get a structure involved. And then I'm like, maybe I'll just buy peppers.
Yeah, yeah. I jalapenos, tomatoes, cilantro, and cherry tomatoes. These are the 4 types of seeds I bought, and Chelsea said, you just bought stuff to make salsa. You just want to grow stuff to make your own salsa.
I'm growing salsa. Get off my back.
And I said, look, those are the only things that we can grow right now because they're above ground. Let's grow the above ground stuff first before we start worrying about the like the root vegetables.
What does a cilantro seed look like?
It's just like it's like a little round white seed.
Hmm.
It looks
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. Um I I still have the I still have the package that tells me how to grow things. Um but yeah, it's
Pro tip from Philip Marks. He says cilantro is a pain because it becomes coriander if you let it flower. So
what the hell does that even mean? How is it not a different vegetable or herb, whatever?
I don't know. I think you have to water it every day, and then if you harvest it on the third day and sell it on a different island, it's worth more money.
Uh,
Bells, more bells. I'm sorry.
coriander. That's crazy. That's crazy. Um, that's
Ooh, touching pepper plants with your hands. Yeah, my wife made like jalapeno poppers once, and then accidentally rubbed her eye after cutting up all the jalapenos. That was bad news. Real
yeah.
bad news.
I used to be like, huh, look at me chopping up stuff with my bare hands. Uh,
Apathetic botany. Yeah, this is the new gardening post show podcast that y'all been hyped for, been waiting for the whole time.
Botany-thetic enthusiasm. Uh, yeah.
Don't use that quilted northern after you cut a spicy pepper. Don't squeeze the Charmin.
Uh, yeah. I don't. I wear gloves now whenever I'm doing peppers.
That's good. That's smart. How are you guys doing? I mean, are you guys holding up all right?
Yeah.
Rachel, you guys were like straight up quarantined like a week or two ago. Is that still going good? Everybody doing all right? I don't know. Philip, you doing good? You making some peppers?
Yeah, ouch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
ouch.
ouch. Definitely took a pee after cutting peppers before. Yeah, I um when I was younger and I was trying to make spicy salsa, I was like I was chopping up habaneros and then I was like, ah, my nose. Ah, why is it? Oh, it's just getting worse. Why is my nose itchy? Yeah. And that was the day that my septum was deviated.
Oh, jeez.
Just kidding.
Jeez.
Uh, kayaking. I've never been
Kayaking. I went like ocean kayaking when I was like a teenager, and I
kayaking.
loved it. I
Season.
loved it. When I lived in Hawaii, I wanted to buy like an ocean kayak. And I lived there for 4 years and never did. So ended up snorkeling instead a lot. But yeah,
Never,
kayaking's
never, never,
kayaking's a blast.
never been kayaking. My boss goes kayak fishing a lot, and so every once in a while I listen to him talk to other people about kayak fishing, and I say to myself, yeah, sounds kind of relaxing.
I'm gonna be honest. Animal Crossing's about as in depth with fishing as I want to get. Just me. Uh, Sire Dark talking about how masks are mandatory for stores. Yeah, I'm seeing that in a lot of different stores now.
That's good though, man.
Yeah, no, it's special. I mean, in New York, you guys have it real bad. So
Joanne,
yeah.
Target, Lowe's, Winn-Dixie, all the places I went to when I shouldn't have been at any of those places. A lot of people not wearing masks.
Yeah. Yeah. And here in the Midwest, people I'll be honest, we went to do a door drop off like no contact delivery with my sister-in-law. We made her like a little Easter basket with some like a little care package thing. And so we had to drive across town to drop that off to her. And we are like, it's an opportunity to get out of the house and stay in the car. And there were so many people out on the road. I was just like, wow, I don't know that my state is taking this as seriously as they are in other places. Which just means that our peak for our curve will be much later than all of yours, and
just
it's just
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Our we have a curfew now here in Tampa area, 9 to 5.
Working.
Curfew 9 to 5. What a way to get arrested.
So is that like you can't leave your house after 9 p.m.?
Yeah, I think that's it. I guess I should have paid closer attention.
Yeah, that's crazy. What a time this is, guys. What a crazy time this is.
What a time to be alive. Time to be alive. Speaking of time to be alive, I actually have to go to work tomorrow. So,
Ew. All right. Well then let's wrap this sucker up. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you hanging out, talking to us. It's always a good time. We only have, I mean, if you're here because of Rick and Morty, well, goodness, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming over to the dark side. But yeah, Rick and Morty is only a couple weeks away.
like, brand, look, say, it's
what?
it's like oh, you don't see the shirt?
Oh yeah, there it is.
It's like you're listening to a Rick and Morty podcast because I have a Rick and Morty shirt on.
Here, guys, you want to get real crazy? Watch this. No, that's not the one. This is the one. Look at, and then I go like this.
Oh, oh man, I don't even know.
And look, we're a Rick and Morty podcast now. Look at that. Look, we did it. We did it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching Interdimensional RSS. Like and subscribe. Morty Jr. says, thanks for watching. Okay. We're giant children, everybody. All right, I'm gonna go look for shooting stars. He's gonna go, I don't know, try to eat more habanero salsa or something. Yeah.
Thank you everybody for hanging out with us yet again for another Interdimensional RSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast.
Bye.